Tony, first day out here, spring ball, you excited?
Yeah, fired up. It's good to get back out here. I'll tell you what, it sure comes quick. It ends quick and it comes quick. So we're fired up to get out here. Numbers are real good right now. Thought the guys did a really good job of coming on out and being mature, putting in a good day's work. So obviously, with the 15 practices, you want to see a lot of improvement between the first one and the second one as we move through. Some new guys out there, Max Gilliam, Oblad out there, getting them settled in and comfortable, running the offense. I thought Armani looked good today. And just defensively, Coach Skip coming in, new terminology. I thought they did a good job in the first day of just communicating, getting lined up right and flying around.
Can you talk a little bit about Oblad in particular?
Yeah, the biggest thing about him is when you just watch him in warm-ups before practice starts and you watch him throw the ball and the way the ball explodes off his hands, he's really, really gifted. Now it's just getting him comfortable.
With having him here now as opposed to August, how big an advantage is that?
Well, it's huge. He'll come into camp and he'll be, a full 6 months of not only football, of college, of getting settled in, kind of understanding the academic environment. Obviously being here for these 15 practices puts him way ahead of most high school guys, And the good thing for him, because I've always been torn, does a guy leave early? Is it a good thing? I don't know. My kids, I don't want them to leave early because when they're gone for the rest of their lives, right? But at least he still gets to go to, prom and gets to go to graduation because he's a local kid, so it worked out good.
Normally you bring a high school kid in like that, you redshirt him, but him being here early, does that give him a shot at maybe playing time?
We'll see. The biggest thing for us, we got to make a quality decision there. With Armani there, and you got Max, you got Oblad, you got Markel. We got to see how the four guys, how they do, and how they mature. If it ends up being, Max ends up, fighting and being that number 2 guy, and we can redshirt him, that's great. If he ends up winning that spot or even pushing the 1 spot, then that's a good deal too. He knows the plan is to really assess it when we're done with camp and see what's best for the program. If you can create some separation with those 2 guys, it's not a bad thing. However, if he earns the right to push for the 1 or be the 2, then he'll do that.
When you bring in a new defensive coordinator, how helpful can a spring practice be to sort of lay some of that groundwork?
Well, it's huge. You can only sit in the meeting room so many times, and we're so restricted in what we can do with the guys. So getting out here and actually communicating and making the checks and seeing a formation and having the coach there, working with you, and especially when you're doing it as fast as we do, you get in and out of huddles, it changes things quite a bit. So the biggest thing is just alignment and communication right now. We just get ourselves lined up right, formation recognition with a little bit right, and then put us in the situation we need to be by the time we're done.
Tony, these falls must be so vital for a team, or this spring ball must be so vital for the fall. A team like this kind of lays the foundation, gets things going right. Tell me how important this spring football is for this team.
It's huge. Every team out there, you really find out a lot about yourselves. The great thing for us is, we're breaking the huddle right now, and you still only have 3 seniors breaking the huddle on offense. We're really experienced, and we're still really young, which is a great thing. So now we're so further ahead offensively. We're installing new things day one. Our foundation, 80-90% of our playbook is there. We're actually adding on. It's evolving around Armani and his abilities. Max is a dual threat guy. We'll tweak it a little bit for Oblad, but now we're at the point in the program going into year 4, having guys who've redshirted, been here for a long time, experienced O-line, experienced running backs, receivers, quarterback, that offensively we're on a different, plane. Defensively, we're more talented. You see a lot more depth out there. Again, we have guys who have played a lot of reps, but now they're going into their juniors and senior years, which is a good thing, haven't had that experience. But now we're learning a new system. So it's almost like, okay, let's take it easy and slow, be fundamentally sound, get lined up. Offensively, we want to be at a whole different plane when it comes to install.
Tony, I'm curious where the fire comes in on spring ball. Do you look at it as you had a few games slip through your fingers last season and you're trying to build on that and improve on that, or is it we just turn the page and we're starting fresh?
No. It's we're not just turning the page and starting fresh. You are starting fresh. Nothing we accomplished last year, nothing that we didn't accomplish is going to mean a whole lot week 1, but it's the understanding of the details. Really, when you look at it, you can go through the whole season. Yeah, we've won 3 more games 3 years in a row. That's good. That's a positive. However, when you look back, you look at the Iowa game week 1. You look at a 30-7 lead over Air Force. You look at the game against Reno at the end. It's 3 games you can flip by 2 or 3 solve, and you're going to see this whole thing just take a whole another turn this year.
Do you see any evolution for Armani? Has enough time passed from last season, or is he basically the same guy, or how has he changed?
He's changed quite a bit. The thing is, when you're a freshman and you go in there, you're learning so much about yourself, the way you handle pressure. You know, it's one thing, again, even in spring ball, you're seeing a lot of stuff, but you're not seeing the kitchen sink like you do on, you know, on Saturdays, and different people game planning you and things like that. So he went through the whole thing last year, so now he comes back with a lot more confidence, a perspective of the way things are going to unfold, just that kind of even-keeledness you need to have as a quarterback. It's not always going to be perfect, but if you can calm yourself down, make the throws you need to make, understand, you know, situational football, third downs, red zones, being more aggressive on first and second downs, being more, yardage based on third downs, things like that. He's just a more intelligent football player. IQ went up.
Any changes, any personnel changes as far as position changes, that sort of thing?
You're going to see Caldwell. So Justice Alawashon has knee surgery on Thursday. So unfortunately, he tore his knee a couple weeks ago. So he'll be out through spring ball. Probably get him back at the end of camp. Unfortunately, we had him penciled in as a starter. Caldwell, who started as a tackle his first year, played guard last year. We're going to move him back out to tackle, most likely. Zach Singer will be a guard and center. Acosta will stay just with the centers in there. And you're just seeing a lot more depth, and we have a lot more guys on the offensive line. I think we're going to be able to play 8 or 9 guys. We've always been that 5, 6, maybe 7 guy. We probably have 8 guys that I really believe are going to be really solid. Julio Garcia's out right now. He'll be back in a couple weeks, had a back, so he's coming off of that. But 8 or 9 guys you'll probably see play a whole lot on offense this year.
Tony, I wonder what your mind is like when you're running off the field for the very first spring now, as opposed to 3 years ago when you're.
It's a whole different feeling. It's one of the. There's a lot of uncertainty at the beginning of it all. You're amped up. But you know what? I tell you what. This is what we do. I mean, sometimes you get so bogged down on all the things off the field that you need to accomplish. I mean, obviously, we've talked about the fundraising stuff, and you're out running around recruiting, and you're trying to drum up all kinds of different things. But when you get to run on the field, it brings it right back to what you're out here doing in the first place. And I tell you what, I feel a whole lot off my plate right now. I mean, knowing that building's going up, we've got a lot of that done. There's still a little work to be done there, but I don't have to run and go make a call, raise some money right now. So I'm so relieved to kind of have that part off the plate, and I can dig back in and get more into the X's and O's.
Coach, what's going to be the biggest battles that you have on offense and defense for the spring?
That's a great question. So, I mean, obviously, the depth in the running back is a big deal. Obviously, Lexington's shown what he can do. He's a starter going into the year, unless something crazy happens. But, I mean, who's going to be the second and the third guy who are going to tote the most carries, right? You look at the tight end spot, now you got Gio Fallow, Noah Bean's got to do a great job of stepping on up. Cody Scherf's got to do a really good job there. Godfrey's kind of that H-back. You look at the receiving core and who's really going to be that 6th or 7th guy. I mean, you got Keys back, and you got Presley, and you got Woods, Drew Techman. It's amazing. He had some groin problems his senior year in high school, and then last year he was kind of gimpy a little bit, and he ended up having sports hernia surgery. He is now the most explosive, fastest, strongest guy we got. He finally got his body right, so we didn't know he was going through that until towards the end of last season. So I think that receiving core, there's a lot of competition. And then the safety spot, there's a lot of uncertainty there. Who's going to be? We brought in 3 guys. Well, 2 are here right now. 1 will come in fall camp. And you look at the guys coming back. You got Francis, you got Gibbs, you got Baker. And who's going to start? We're going to find out. We don't know right now. Linebacker spot. Obviously, Farrell played a lot last year. We talked about moving Bailey around from the Will to the Sam spot. Now you got Javen, you got Gabe McCoy, all healthy. Catawanga last year had the surgery on his hand, so he was out. He's back in the mix. Plus, we got some freshmen coming in that we think are going to be able to play right away. So I think the linebacker spot's wide open. And then D tackles are going to look so different in fall camp than they do right now. We have 5 guys coming in fall camp. 5 scholarship guys. So it's a thin group right now.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.